There are moments in the galaxy when the hunter becomes the hunted, but rarely does the hunter meet prey that stares back unblinking, unbroken, and unafraid. Commander VX had faced every terror the wild worlds could conjure, but tonight, in the whispering gloom of Viridia Prime, it was the human who unsettled her. He did not cower. He did not run. Instead, he waited calm, eyes gleaming with secrets. For the first time in her life, VX wondered who, exactly, was stalking whom. The forest pulsed with living darkness, every shadow shifting as Zirani hunters slid between the ferns and towering trees. Commander VX, leader of the seventh hunt, crouched on a mossy limb, her forearms coiled, body heat masked by a special glandular excretion. Below, a small fire glowed orange in the dusk, sending thin tendrils of smoke twisting through the green gloom. The human male, mid-30s, classified as prey by every galactic standard set, humbly at its edge, humming as he roasted a wedge of root on a sharpened stick. His name, according to their intelligence brief, was Evan Drake. Sure, her second sent a telepathic pulse. He should have tried to run by now. Something's wrong. VX's focus never wavered. She had hunted the deadliest fauna on 6 worlds. She knew the scent of fear, the flicker of a prey's glance. This human gave her nothing. No trembling hands, no darting eyes. He looked. Fact, serenely bored, she signaled her squad to tighten the circle, bioluminescent hunting stripes rippling faintly down her limbs. She leaped down, landing in a crouch a meter from the fire. The human looked up, met her many-faceted eyes, and smiled. Commander VX, he said with eerie accuracy. Jureni, yes? I recognize the stripes from the documentaries. I'm honored. He poked at the fire, completely unruffled. Hope you don't mind, I've started dinner. Sure landed behind him, claws bared. You do not show respect. You do not fear us. Evan Drake's gaze slid to Sure, then back to VX. Would it help? He asked, voice light but steady. VX's tail twitched. Why not run? Every species runs. Evan smiled, slow and dangerous. You ever hear of persistence hunting, Commander? The squad tensed, unused to this dynamic. Hunters never conversed with prey. Yet something in Evan's voice and the subtle steel beneath his words gave them pause. Let me guess. You're here to hunt, and I am here to be hunted. But I'm not what you expect. He drew a lazy circle in the dirt with his stick. You see, humans didn't start at the top of our world. We earned it, not by being the fastest or the strongest, but by being stubborn. VX's ears flicked in confusion, but she held up a hand. Speak then. What are you? Evan shrugged, eyes bright in the firelight. We're the creatures who walk. You can outpace us for a while, but eventually we catch up. That's how my ancestors took down mammoths. We'd follow for hours, days, until the mammoth collapsed from exhaustion. Then only then did we strike. The Zirani, renowned for their swiftness and ferocity, looked at each other, uncertain. Sure hissed, but VX motioned for silence. Evan's smile sharpened. You're apex predators, but so were the wolves, the bears, the lions. Humans made them family. He met VX's gaze directly. We're good at that. Turning the dangerous into something new. A deep, unsettling quiet fell. The game was changing, and the pack felt it. VX leaned in, voice low. You still have not answered. Why don't you run? Evan reached for his meal. Because I know something you don't. The air vibrated with tension. The human did not break. To be continued. Night fell, cool and silent. The fire's glow, the only warmth in a world of lurking predators. The Zirani formed a perfect circle around the camp, each positioned at an angle that should have left the human no escape. VX's mind spun with doubt. Prey should tremble. Prey should run. Yet Evan sat, relaxed, as if waiting for something or someone. VX settled across from him, arms folded, claws glinting. Tell me, human, why do you provoke the hunt? Evan grinned. Because you need it. It's in your blood, isn't it? The Zerani legend glory through challenge, honor in the chase. But what if the prey refuses to play? Sure bared his fangs. You insult our traditions. Erin nodded. Not at all. I'm just changing the rules. He tossed a bit of root to the side. See, you think the hunt is about domination. On Earth, it was about survival and about learning. That's how we got smart. Our prey taught us to be clever, to build traps, to adapt. The first humans who learned from their prey, they survived. The rest? Well, you don't see them around anymore. The fire snapped as a stick burned through. Vyax felt a chill run through her veins. She glanced around, noticing for the first time the subtle marks in the soil drag lines. Disturbed moss, rocks set in peculiar patterns. Evan saw her gaze. Notice the traps, Commander? Vyax's claws twitched. What have you done? Nothing. Permanent, Evan assured, but enough to slow you down. Enough to make you think. Sure lunged, claws flashing, but the ground beneath him shifted. He tumbled into a shallow pit, only his pride wounded. The other Zorani barked in surprise. Evan laughed, not unkindly. Sorry, sure. Nothing personal. Vyax's face hardened. You toy with us? Not toy teach. He met her eyes. Every predator that's ever come for humanity has given us a gift, a lesson. You, Commander, are giving us new ones right now. A distant roar echoed through the woods, followed by the low whine of a search drone. The Zerani snapped to high alert, but Evan didn't move. That's just my backup. I'm not alone out here. The revelation struck them like a bolt. Had they been the hunted all along? Vyax tried to steady her breathing. You bluff. You're just one human. Evan's grin widened. One's enough. But you never know when the rest might show up. The squad shifted, the certainty in their posture wavering. Evan stoked the fire, and for the first time, the line between predator and prey blurred in the night. The hunt, it seemed, was only beginning. A damp fog curled through the trees at dawn, muting colors and dampening scents. Vyax's squad regrouped, now wary, checking every step. The forest, once their ally, now felt like a stranger. Even was gone from the fire, but a trail of marked stones led deeper into the woods. Vyax signaled her team forward. They followed in silence, every sense sharpened. But everywhere they turned, the forest was full of human tricks, tripwires that set off harmless but startling flashes. Pits disguised with leaves, branches arranged to funnel them off course. It was humiliating. Zorani prided themselves on never being bested. Now, even, the youngest squad member was glancing nervously over their shoulder. Sure whispered, He's making fools of us. Vyax pressed onward, her pride burning. Adapt. Learn. They pressed on, only to find Even waiting atop a low ridge. He waved. Nice morning for a walk, Vyax. Enough games. Evan stepped down, hands open. I told you, Commander. Humans don't run, we endure. When something chases us, we outlast it. And something outsmarts us, we learn and change. That's our trick. And when the odds are against us. He smiled, a little sad. That's when we become dangerous. Sure. Snapped. We should have ended this last night. Evan shook his head. If you had, you'd never have understood. Vyax glared. Understood what? He knelt, drawing a crude diagram in the dirt. 2 interlocking circles. Prey. Predator. The line shifts, depending on who learns faster. He pointed at himself. Humans learn to turn hunters into partners. To turn fear into curiosity. Sometimes the only way to survive is to stop running and start changing the game. Vyax felt her confidence waver. Was this what the hunt was about, testing, learning, transforming? Or had they all been prey to their own arrogance? The pack watched, silent, as Evan stood. You wanted to hunt a human, Commander. But you've just been introduced to what humans really are. For the first time, Vyax felt fear. Not for her life, but for the world as she knew it. The forest seemed to lean closer, listening. Vyax felt the weight of her squad's eyes as she approached. Evan, claws retracted, posture almost respectful. You refuse to run. You lay traps. You speak of learning, of turning predators into partners. Why show mercy now? She asked. Her voice hushed. Evan met her gaze without flinching. Because fear is a cage, Commander. Humans learn to break cages. We survived not by running, but by facing what hunted us. By making peace with danger. Sure scoffed, but his voice lacked conviction. You expect us to believe humans are harmless? Evan smiled, gentle, but with an edge. Not harmless. But maybe, just maybe more than you expected. You came to hunt, but you leave changed. That's what matters. Vyax considered this, every instinct warring with her training. Her species taught her to dominate, to conquer. Yet here was this fragile, clever creature offering something else understanding. A soft chime rang in Evan's earpiece. He tapped it, murmured a few words. Moments later, shapes materialized between the trees. More humans, armed and alert, emerging from camouflage. The Zirani tensed, but Evan raised a hand. No need for violence, he said. We've learned from each other tonight. Vyax looked around, her squad bruised but alive, her pride battered but not broken. She straightened. What do you want from us? Evan shrugged. Maybe just dinner. Maybe a story to tell. Maybe someday more. He offered his hand. After a long, tense moment, Vyax took it. The force exhaled, and a new peace settled over the clearing. Dusk returned, painting the sky violet. The two packs, Irani and human, sat together around the fire. The tension of the hunt had faded, replaced by the wary curiosity of equals. Sure, ever prideful, finally broke the silence. You tricked us. Evan laughed. Not a trick, just perspective. Out here, survival isn't about being the strongest or the fastest. It's about adapting, learning, making alliances. Vyax watched him carefully. You taught us something human. That we are not always the hunters. Evan nodded. And you reminded us why we must always stay humble. A companion of Evan's passed a bowl of steaming food to Vyax. She sniffed. Suspicious, but hunger won out. The taste surprised her, simple, hearty. Good dot. The fire crackled. Someone told a joke. For a moment, the forest was full of laughter rather than threat. Dot as the humans packed up, ready to leave. Evan lingered. One day, Commander, I hope your people and mine will meet as friends over fires, not battlefields. Vyax bowed her head, the gesture heavy with new respect. Perhaps. But not today. Evan smiled. Today's a start. The packs parted, each changed by the encounter. In the deep forest, stories would grow. Of the night the hunters met the prey that wouldn't. And what they learned because of it out, and somewhere under the endless stars, the galaxy shifted. Just a little toward hope. Asterisk.